What's up, YouTube? This your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. And today, I wanted to share this clip with you. It's some of the Portland Trailblazers talking about the JBA, sorry, and more specifically, it's Evan Turner from the Portland Trailblazers talking about the JBA. It's a video from an interview done by Rashad Miligan. Check his channel out. He's got a couple interviews, some with Lonzo and some other JBA folks. You see here, he got the Jelly Kid, GQ, JQ, all of that good stuff. Check out his channel. But I wanted to show y'all this quick interview. It's pretty dope. Let's go.
As you heard me talking to Shabazz earlier, I brought up the JBA and stuff. Now, you were definitely a guy who, one and done, and everybody knew you were going one or two. Now, looking back at it, if you had that option, what would you take it?
Take where, going to the, what you call it? No, it's definitely great. When I was 17, I was still into the whole thing of going to play college basketball because it's my dream. So I wasn't really comprehending the whole, business side. But when now if I was an older dude looking back on it, and I was telling the younger me, I'd probably go do it.
I want to stop that real quick because I think he's saying something important, right? I remember a while ago when folks would question of like, oh, JBA, nobody wants to, or let's even go back further when LaMelo Jello decided to go play ball over in Lithuania, and I did a video and I was talking about how Jello was like so excited about being a professional basketball player, and folks was like, man, nobody ever dream of being a professional basketball player, right? And what I felt like is they were so hung up on like the childhood dreams of like he's talking about in the moment. Man, the only thing he could think about was the NCAA tournament, being this big star on campus and all of that stuff. But then as an older person looking back on the financial advantages that he could have potentially had from trying to go pro and not being so caught up in the mystique and the hype that's around college sports, he's saying that he would have made a different decision potentially. But I think that is a true statement of like, yo, our culture and our like world, we so in college sports is so ingrained in us, man. So like the dream of maybe one day being a like Peter Warwick or having a Randy Moss story or being a, you know what I'm saying, if you like to trip people, you might be Grayson Allen or somebody, or a Steph Curry, and be a diaper dandy and all those things. So I could see how it would be hard for some players to miss out on an opportunity to secure some finances for an opportunity to secure a dream.
In a position that my family's in, and I can for sure, get the same opportunity to showcase my talent. Obviously for the bread it'd be dope, but I was so hyped to play in college and experience that, so I can't really say I'll jump on it, but from a business situation, yeah, of course.
And like you said, looking back on it, how did it feel to be like a guy that they're using on every commercial? You on every commercial, everything, and you want to get an opinion for it?
Yeah, it makes you mad when you think about it. Like I said, man, I had a different type of situation. I was loving all that. I comprehended how the rules of the game went. It's just what you did. You go to college, you pay your dues, and you get the league. So, obviously, when you look back on it, it's hard to answer because, money's dope, but, I always been somebody to, be dope to leave a legacy for, and I was able to do that at Ohio State. And
see, I understand what he's saying here, and this is why one of the main reasons I wanted to I seen this and I thought it was cool because he's kind of addressing some real life things. I played some college sports myself, and that. Yes, I was thought it was so cool that my jersey was hanging up in some. It was a jersey in this restaurant. They auctioned them off or whatever, and I thought that was amazing. I didn't get a dollar or a dime from it. I wasn't even thinking about that, right? And I think that it wasn't until this moment where I was trying to, like, we were trying to throw a party, and because we knew, like, we were on the football team, we were a little popular, so we knew we could make some money, we could pack the house, and they were like, actually, you could pack the stadium on Saturdays, but you can't pack this party and make some money off of it. That really, it threw me off a little bit.
You know, clearly, everything else is a blessing. It's a great experience, but, you know, obviously the money side, for sure, that's tough, man. I think NCAA knows it as well. You know, like I said, you know, I think they're doing a little bit of better job of splitting it up a little bit, because kids aren't saying they need money or anything because they need money or they want it. It's because they need it. You know, when I was in college, my mom was taking a bus at 10 at night on the west side, and I had all the $25 in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm on national TV performing at a high level. Obviously, those times make you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the relationships I built in college and the fact.
I feel like that part to me is dope. Or I can't say it's dope, but it resonates with me as well. Because I remember I played JUCO for a season, and I remember same situation. I'm from Florida. I was playing ball in Kansas, and there's that moment in the fall semester where everybody goes home for Thanksgiving. And I already knew I wasn't going home. There wasn't no plane ticket coming. There wasn't no bus ride coming. I was at my school. They did this thing where, because so many people would get out there, realize it's Kansas, and then buck, they wouldn't give you your financial aid until like the end of the semester. So like you had to be there for almost 3 months before you get a Pell Grant. So we was out there just broke. So when Thanksgiving came around, there wasn't no going home. But then you had your Pell Grant in enough time to buy a ticket home for Christmas and then come back in January. But I remember being out there, and like over Thanksgiving break, they closed the school down. The cafeteria wasn't no free dinner and all, and the scholarship didn't matter. I was just out there, and I was trying to get people back home to send me something, and they couldn't do it. And so I don't know, the struggle is just real, man. I remember even being when I was in playing D1 ball, like you needed a computer, and then so I had to take an extra loan out to buy a computer to have, you know what I'm saying? And they help you out, because even if you're on full scholarship, like, and you get some Pell Grant, like they can give you some extra assistance in order to take an extra loan out. But that's the crazy thing, that people don't realize is, man, when you're in college, even if you're on a full scholarship, there's a high probability that you still gonna owe some money.
That I wouldn't trade for, and the fact that I have a home to come to in the summertime, and you know, even just cheer for Ohio State during during football games and stuff. That you can't take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you got, it's all personal opinion.
I think you can't take it for granted, but I know that there are folks who, when I played at JUCO level, which is definitely not as first class as Division I, like their relationships that you built. So if you go play pro in let's say the JBA, the G League, you're gonna still build the same relationships that you potentially build at one of these major institutions, just to be in a different level.
Got 10 years to make money, is guaranteed. Cool, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to make the most of the education and the experience of college, that's something you may never get back as well. So it's all about what you hope.
Also, I want to say that there's this misconception that you can't go to college if you play professional sports. You can go to college, you just can't be on a scholarship for said sport that you were professional in. So yes, if you go pro, you may then decide that you want to go back to college, but you may have to take out a Pell Grant or a loan and then pay for it. It's the same thing that 80% of Americans are doing. I just made that percentage up. Don't quote me on that, all right?
Oh, near to you.
One last question. Do you think kids that are like you, do you think they even care about class?
Yeah, I mean, times are changing. You know, when I was growing up, it's just all about the ACC. I was watching Reddick and Chris Paul and them, but you know, now I think a lot of people are calling BS on the whole college team. So I think the youth is a little bit different. It's all about what the talk was growing up. When I was growing up, the talk wasn't about kids getting ripped off or, you know what I'm saying? It's about doing the right thing, going to get an education. Make sure you don't get caught taking money. You know what I'm saying?
What did you?
Make sure you don't get caught taking money. I think that is kind of that is the strongest play that I feel like the NCAA has, is that, like, yo, yes, it's amateur, but if you're good enough to go one and done, you probably good enough for them to help you get some impermissible funds. You know what I'm saying? And then it's a matter of if you're willing to pull a Reggie Bush, get all of that money, and then feed your family, and then later on in life have to deal with like the ridicule for being the guy who got all of these wins and titles and everything vacated. You know what I'm saying? But that's the tough part. CJ McCollum here. Let's go through this real fast.
What do you think about the idea of the JBA and all of that?
I'm sorry?
What do you think about the idea of the JBA and all of that?
The JBA, define JBA.
JBA is
I like that though. He didn't know what it was, but I'm talking about the words of him saying, "Could you define JBA?" He didn't just answer the question or something like that. I feel like that was dope to me, and just only because I like little crazy things like that.
Oh, I was like, what? Sorry. I think, I like the idea of it. I think it's a good idea. I don't know how he's going to go about doing it in terms of bringing in sponsorship, bringing in, money, and then the second part is, truth be told, some of these players are getting more than $10,000 a month. So is it worth it to go play in a league that doesn't have any leverage, that doesn't have a lot of, prior success? Or you go to a big school, you get paid anyway, you play in college for a semester, and you go pro. So I think the idea behind it is good, but putting it all together and getting the right support around it is ultimately what's going
I want to say that this is one of the main things that I always hear when people talk about this, is they compare something unconventional to conventional, right? So like typically what he's talking about is getting sponsors, getting this, doing this. When the Big Baller Brand and Jello and Mello went to Vitotas, the idea wasn't, hey, let's figure out how we can get all of these sponsors. The idea was, we're going to sponsor the teams. Same thing when you create your own league. But yeah. What's up, man?
Man, I'm tired. Yeah.
I dig it. But yeah, so it's an interesting video, man. Y'all check this one out. I'm gonna try to leave the link in the description, but I'm probably gonna forget. This your main man, AB the Hero. I'm out. Peace.